My name is Izzy Vine, I'm 30 years old and I left the Met Police because it's rotten to the core. So after I left the Met in December of 24, I started speaking out online, and as soon as I started speaking out, I started to get a bit more of a response from the Met, and all of a sudden a goal group was formed, and this was led by a commander under the instruction of a Deputy Assistant Commissioner to look into what's happened and my complaint about the director's rationale in rehiring this dodgy colleague. I didn't hear anything for a while, and in February I was notified. This is now like 8 months after I've made the complaint, that they've come to a decision without seeing me first or speaking to me or asking me any questions, that there was no misconduct from the director in his rationale. I was completely flabbergasted, didn't understand. I was like, how can you even like come to this conclusion without even meeting me? Like, surely if someone makes a complaint, you need to meet with them and ask them a bit more info, or just, I don't know. So I was baffled. So obviously I was like, this doesn't make sense, like, what the hell? And they were like, okay, well maybe we'll chat with the director and see if there's any learning there. But we'll meet you if you want and explain to you everything. So I was like, okay, fine. So a meeting was arranged for the 4th of April. And I messaged them and I said, I need to record this for transparency. I can sign something like a confidentiality agreement, that I wouldn't give it to the press or social media, but it's just for transparency, so I feel safe and they feel safe, especially as there's an employment tribunal. And I've been told so many things that had turned out to be lies before in meetings. I just wanted to record it. They said, no, it's not standard practice to record these meetings and I cannot do so. So they cancelled the meeting, and then they, a couple of weeks later, gave me a final conclusion saying, it's not misconduct. Sorry that the director's comments came across in a way that didn't portray what he meant, basically. And of course, we have to take into consideration violence against women and girls in the Casey report. And that they're sorry that it took longer and it wasn't actioned by some people in the early stages, and all they can do is say sorry for it. So I was like, okay, I need a rationale as to why you don't think that the director's comments were harmful, that you can have any opinion you want, no matter how harsh and no matter how harmful, and that it was too harsh to call a rape victim a slut and be racist and mimic Sarah Everard and follow me home, even though they didn't take that into consideration into the investigation. You know, and I said, like, sorry doesn't cut it. Like, is there going to be anyone held accountable for not progressing my complaint? Like, that's breaking legislation. Like, when someone makes a formal complaint, grievance, whatever, it has to be dealt with in an effective and timely manner. And 10 months later is not that. And especially as they hadn't even spoken to me. I'd made this complaint in July 24 and they're giving me this conclusion in May 25. So I put that forward to them. And in May, just looking at my notes of my timeline, in May, on the 12th of May, I asked all these questions, like, I need a rationale as to why you don't think the director is bad, etc., and who's going to be held accountable for not actioning my report, etc. And I got a response saying they are not going to give me a rationale as it would not be useful. They also told me that there was a second person in the decision-making process of the appeal, which I was never told before. So I said, please, can I have their name, or can you tell me who that was, or like just a bit about that? They've refused. They said it would not be useful to me. So that is the shit show that is the Met. The higher you get up and the more you demand accountability, the more they can just say, sorry, can't help you, and it ends there. And I am not having it. I'm not having it. Like, these are institutions that we're meant to trust, and I cannot believe, I still am so shocked by all of this, that they can just act in this blazing, untouchable way. So yeah, that's just a bit of an update post leaving. And you know, in May I was just like, I'm not communicating with you anymore because you're just taking a piss now, so I'll leave it to an employment tribunal and I will just campaign publicly, because I won't get anywhere with them. They're just not giving me any answers. They're just giving me stupid political responses, and you know, sorry that it didn't go the way you want, and all of this shit. And just, it blows my mind that I complained in 24 July and they came to a decision in January 25 without even meeting me or asking me or just to discuss my complaint. And then when I pushed further and further, they then wanted to have a meeting, but then when I wanted to record, they cancelled it and they just said, no, we're just sticking to our decision. Okay, you do you, like, you do what you want. You just trample on everyone and everything and you just get away with it. No, not with me. I'm not having it. I always used to think, what was wrong with me? Why am I not in a family with children and settled and all of this? Well, I now know that this is my purpose. Like, I'm going to hold power accountable. That's what I'm here for, and that's what I'm going to do.